Now we have Elfrida Sunni, a data science consultant at EY in Ireland, with us. Having moved to Ireland 3 years ago from India, Elfrida is all about finding your voice and exploring your identity. Today, Elfrida will be speaking about finding your own voice, overcoming networking challenges for LGBTQIA+ individuals. Over to you, Elfrida.
Hi everyone. I'm Elfrida. I work as a senior consultant in EY Ireland's data analytics team. I started my career off in 2016. I'm originally from India, and I moved to Ireland around 3 years ago, and it had been a very life-changing journey for me. It was also challenging, but very beautiful. I also got opportunity to be myself and explore my own identity and things like that. So my today's topic is also something very personally important for me. It is about finding your voice and navigating networking challenges for LGBTQ professionals. So, just an outlook on existing scenarios in Ireland. Over 53% of Irish workers who identify as LGBTQIA plus feels discriminated at against work, according to a survey by hiring platform Indeed. The survey also highlighted covert aggression or discrimination with over 60% of participants explaining that they have experienced microaggression in workplace because of their identity. Over 30% of LGBTQ people say that they frequently experience imposter syndrome at work, and a staggering 64% of trans people saying they deal with it on a regular basis. So, despite all the progress that have been made in Ireland since the time of legalizing same-sex marriages, there is still prevalent a lot of challenges which the community face because of various issues. So, just a brief look into what are the challenges which could be LGBTQ professionals can face in their own unique journey. And this is like a brief summary of what could be, and everyone's individual experience can be different. So there could be like fear of discrimination or bias. There can be a multitude of prejudices and discrimination which can manifest in different forms at different stages in one's career, including even getting hired, even like being promoted or like progressing in your own work. It can be challenging to be in getting involved in conversation or initiate conversation. People might feel excluded, even might experience passive aggression, etc. So one of the thing where I faced when I moved to Ireland was that so I do not have very much awareness about the workplace rules or employee rights or anything as such in Ireland. So when I started interviewing to find a job in Ireland, this is one of the thing I did. I intentionally tried to hide my identity in the attempt or in the fear that I might be discriminated against because of it. So, yeah, there could be like people experiencing a lot of these things or trying to hide their true self because of fear of discrimination. And the second thing is like lack of representation or role models or support system. So, we all know that humans are psychological species who are consistently learning, listening, learning, observing, learning, etc. No matter what is your age, you're always constantly learning and adapting to your surroundings. So, and that is something very important in our life. So, LGBTQ peoples, be it there in professional or personal life, may lack a proper support system or mentors, which can create a lot of troubles for them, a lot of challenges for them in progressing. So, this can lead to a lot of things like imposter syndrome or not feeling a sense of belonging in the community, trying to fit in, having anxieties, etc. So, absence of visible role models and support system and mentorship can be a very big challenges to LGBTQ individuals. And the last is navigating coming out situations. So, while coming out is something very personal affair for anyone, and everyone is on their own unique journey, but it is still something that can affect your confidence. If you have to exist in an environment where you have to consistently live in the fear of hiding yourself, that is something which can have a negative impact on your networking skills and even your confidence, which can manifest in different forms in progressing in your careers. So these are like a brief overview of things. I'm sure there are more challenges which could be, but which could be explained. But with the limitations of time, these are like a brief outlook of what could be an individual facing because of their identity. So, strategies for overcoming challenges. A lot of these things are based on my own personal experience. So, I hope you could benefit one way or another way, but all of the things might not be applicable for everyone. And it all depends on individual experiences and privileges as people. So, one of the good point in starting is like seeking LGBTQ affinity groups and organizations. Like it could be any form of social clubs or like sport clubs, which you might be interested in, or art clubs, which is a good point of starting and finding other role models and other people who are thriving in the community in their own way. So you might even end up finding a very good friend or even mentors, and also leveraging online platforms for connecting groups, like be it LinkedIn or any other networking events, can be a good start as well. And the third one is, and this is also something which I would personally consider as one of the most important thing, finding mentors and allies who genuinely want to see you succeed. And it might take time. Like when I moved to Ireland, like it was a new country for me, it was a whole new world for me, and everything is so different, and it was a bit confusing because I did not have support system or like mentors who would tell me, like, or even to observe and learn a lot of things. So but fortunately I was able to find mentors in my personal as well as professional life who have created such big impact on me. So mentors and allies who can positively influence your life plays a very critical part both in your personal and professional life. And the next is developing personal boundaries. So, like I said before, everyone have their own personal stories, personal experiences. So, being self-aware about your own situations and convey assertiveness and clarity can be very useful strategy in, like, initiating conversations or making friends or anything. And last but not least is being authentic with caution. So in an ideal scenario, we all want to be like be transparent and being your authentic self, but it's also not bad to be conscious about yourself and your surroundings when you're revealing anything about yourself, like be it your identity or any level of personal identity. So it also comes as a part of your emotional intelligence and being like figuring out what is the right time to say something and things like that. So then, how to have influential conversations. So a lot of things on the slide, and my reference for this is actually a book by Dale Corrigan called "How to Win Friends and Make Influence in People." So it has been a very useful book for me. If you have read it, it's probably familiar a lot of things here, and if you haven't read that, I would highly recommend reading the book. So, how to initiate a conversation. So, um, there are also being surveys which said that women experience in general a high level of imposter syndrome at workplace, specifically in tech sector. So everyone feels different from time to time. So it's okay to feel different. It necessarily is not something you need to change. Like no matter how you progress in your life, you might still feel different from time to time, and it's going to come. So that is okay. Everyone feels different. Everyone is unique in our own way. So realizing that and remembering that could be useful. And the next thing is like being authentic and being honest. So whatever part of your identity, bear it with pride and be your authentic self. That is what represent your own unique brand, to be it to employer or be it to other people. And the next thing is like remembering other person's name or even putting conscious attempt to pronounce it correctly, because that's the most important word to a person in any language. And you can make more friends by becoming more interested in other people than trying to get other people interested in you. So there's also something that connects to the next point I have there, being a good listener, encouraging others to talk about themselves. So, a good conversationalist should also be a very good listener. You should have empathy to be able to listen to other person's perspective and show genuine interest in the conversation and try to honestly see things from other person's point of view. And the last one, but not least, is body language. So this, I'm sure, is a very commonly understood thing. So having a smile, being approachable, being confident in yourself is something that can make the first impression good when you're having a conversation with people. There are also a lot of things about having conversation, like finding common grounds, talking about interests, which will help your networking be more easier. And like I said, I would highly recommend reading the book by Dale Corrigan to read more about those things. So yeah, moving on to other slide. What can we do as a collective, as an individual, as at organizational level, to enhance LGBTQ inclusion and help people thrive in their own careers, and as well as like progressing in their careers. So companies and organizational policies, like at an organizational level, it's very useful to have established guidelines of inclusiveness and safety of marginalized communities. And the next is like, what can allies do? So individual impact is also something very significant. So I have made a lot of personal progress in my life, in terms of my confidence as well as being able to have a conversation, etc. So one of the thing, like I said in the previous slide, which influenced me very much, is having mentors and allies who has been a great positive influence in my life. So it's not just a matter of just 1 month activism or anything like that, but having consistently speaking for your LGBTQ colleagues, or like even when you get an opportunity, being a good mentor for someone is something you could do as at an individual level to create good impact. And the next is like having LGBTQ friendly events, so establishing and providing platforms, holding events, etc., for having LGBTQ voices heard and for them to connect, being able to perceive role models, etc., plays a great impact. And last but not least, mentorship programs like career guidance or mentorship programs at various levels of their like at university level or student level, or as we progress to career level, all these things can have a great impact on navigating challenges and a positive impact on the community and empowering community as in general. So today we discussed about finding your voice as an LGBTQ professional, and I'm very aware that everyone's personal scenarios and context and everything can be different, and everyone experience their own unique challenges. So there is no pre-written set of rules on how to navigating your career, or how to navigating, or how to find your own network or support system. That everyone's face their own unique challenges, but I hope there is something useful you could take from the session by being your own authentic self, and also bringing your own unique perceptions and your own identity to the conversations, and like being respectful and being honest with the other person as well you're having a conversation with. So a lot of the things could be different if you're also like neurodivergent, like trying to fit in into the world of neurotypicals can be specifically challenging. So there is no pre-written rules, or there is no pre-written set of things that you could follow. So bit depending on everyone's individual scenario, how to tackle your life and the context of it could be very different. But regardless, like I hope you could carry on some of the things taken away from the sessions to your own professional life, and being able to progress and having a positive impact for yourself as well as for the society in general. So I'll be winding my session down then. Cheers. Then thanks very much for listening to me.
Thanks a lot for the wonderful session, Elfrida. I hope you all enjoyed. And this was really a truly inspiring session because what we specialize in, what we know, does not depend on what community we belong to. It's the brain in here. Thanks a lot, everyone.